Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Monday, March 3rd. Just got done with the combine. Perfect time for a mock draft. Technically mock draft Monday, but me and Austin got day jobs. So we'll probably see this Tuesday, but we're taking everything to account. Recent moves, franchise tags, some players released. But hey man, how you feeling? How you feeling? You back?
Yeah,
It's the Super Bowl.
yeah, it's cool. Just gathering up all the information as possible and assessing all these rosters, seeing what the salary cap situations are looking like and all that. So just regular research.
Yeah, man. It's funny as you get older as a football fan, like these off seasons they're like Christmas too. Like day one of the season, Christmas, but it's like, hey man, free agency's about to kick off. Shit's about to get interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's Christmas for some people. For me, I'm like, all right, this business as usual. It's business. It's business as usual. We know what everybody got to do right now. Everyone got to fill up C block, A block, B block. So it's about to be a whole bunch of rumors and all of that going around, and crazy mock time and all the stuff to fill the next 50 days before the draft.
Yeah. And speaking of Matt Stafford, that situation that got handled, that felt like, let's get some filler in between now and when free agency starts. And boom, never thought he was going to leave the Rams, but it was nice to talk about for a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, mock draft 1.0 post combine. I'm odds, Austin's evens. So I guess we could kick this off. No trades, by the way. And yeah, I'm on the clock. So with the Titans, because we're doing no trades, I can envision a situation where they don't trade, especially if they evaluate the quarterbacks and they got their guy. Never know if you're going to pick one again. You're hoping not to pick one again. And I personally think they're going to trade down to 3 potentially. The GM that was in love with Cam Ward, they just fired. They didn't give him a very long time. But it kind of feels like, look, if we got rid of this GM that wanted Cam Ward, did they get another GM that also likes Cam Ward? Or is he true to what he said about a generational talent and they really meant like a Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter? They're fine with either. They trade down to 3, still able to get their guy. And it could be smoke, but when you have the number 1 overall pick, you might as well field your options. And this a good way to field your options is to be like, yo, we want a generational, we're not taken away from the quarterbacks, but we're going to explore all options. And now, your phone's filled up with all the teams trying to get to number 1. And it seems like there's a lot of suitors. But in this case, we're just going to go with Cam Ward here. Could be the savior for the franchise. Will Levis, not the guy. What's his name? Brian Callahan didn't seem very happy with him. Didn't really give him a shot towards the end of the season when all was lost. So, Cam Ward.
Yeah. I mean, everything that I've heard and listened to in regards to the Browns, they're basically hell bent on was that word we talked about it, or not overcompensating, or maybe it is overcompensating, but overcorrecting. They're in the business of overcorrecting this year, and that starts at the quarterback position. Like apparently they feel as if their team is in position to compete. The only thing is their bad luck at quarterback. Um, that's up for a whole nother day trying to face Cleveland. But I will say they're one of the more talented teams to be up here at pick number 2. Unfortunately, it was a year where apparently this isn't a strong quarterback draft, blah, 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 blah. But, for them, they can't really concern themselves with that. Ideally, they probably wanted to select Cam Ward with their first, with the second overall pick, but their first pick in the draft, but he's not there. And I think they just, like I said, they're overcorrecting. So I think they just go with the second best quarterback that's available in the draft right now. And they select Shador Sanders at number 2 overall. He's a quarterback. You know, I know right now he's catching a lot of flack. Apparently, he's not even going to be in the first round. But I'm sorry. I'm going to have to physically see him drop out the first round before I believe that he's not going to be selected in the first round, regardless of how people might feel about him. So, yeah, I think this is the pick right here. Right now, it's just a whole lot of smoke screen going on in regards to how people feel about him. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's been a bunch of quarterbacks selected number 2 or in the first round that weren't projected to be top 5 quarterbacks ever. But the coach fell in love with them. The coach liked them. And any given Sunday, they're anywhere between the top 12 to 16 quarterbacks. You can win with that. Not trying to throw no shade or nothing because I know you're a big fan of him. But one of the guys that I listen to and watch, he says that he reminds him of Geno Smith. And not the Geno Smith that came out back in the day, but the Geno Smith today. And depending on who you're speaking with, that's shade. But if you talk to people that's actually watched Geno Smith play, it's like that's not really shade. He has games where he throws for 354 yards and 3 touchdowns. But then there's games where, you know, his O-line doesn't protect him and it's a rough night. But
again, I mean, if he could be a Geno Smith coming into the league versus Geno Smith having to develop and whatnot, I mean, that's a W.
But that's what I'm saying. Depends on who you speak to. That's shit. If you don't call people God or Pat Mahomes, it's like, oh, you think he sucked. It's like, nah, bro. Like Geno Smith has made good money in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like it took him a long time to get here, but nonetheless, right now, that's a decent quarterback. So, you know, I did not definitely see that on film with him. He doesn't have the best arm, but at the end of the day, you know, like even I agree with what he said. He's like, yo, I went to Jackson State. They said it wouldn't work out here. It worked out. Left it better than I found it. He went to Colorado. Said it wouldn't work out here. He worked out there. Left it better than he found it. So I don't see why he can't go to Cleveland and then not work out for him there and he leave Cleveland better than he found Cleveland.
Nah, I feel that. And you could also say the same for Cam Ward and his journey through college. So it's fun. It's funny seeing them kind of go back and forth, that playful banter. I don't think we've seen anything like that in a draft process before, where you know they're boys and it's like a sitcom or something. But football sitcom.
I read about Cam Ward's first transfer to WSU like 3-4 years, like I guess 3.5 years back now. And I guess last year, like in 2023, I tweeted about Cam Ward being a dog. And like earlier in November, someone retweeted that tweet. And I was like, dang, I forgot that I even said this about Buddy. But yeah, like, you always, yeah, but it's just like, I always seen it with Cam, especially like reading his story.
What year was that? What year was that where you tweeted that and it just got retweeted?
2023.
2023.
Retweeted in 2023. Yeah, he was still at Wazoo. He was still at Washington State, but I knew he was nice and I was looking forward to watching him play. And then, you know, because they were saying that he might be a mid-round pick. So I would always watch his games and shit. But then when he was getting ready to enter the draft, and instead of entering the draft, obviously he got cheese to go to Miami. And I mean, that worked for all sides. So that was pretty cool. He deserves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think they're both going to be pretty good in the league. Hopefully they're in the same conference so we can see them go back and forth on the football field in the pros. But so as a Giants fan, this is like worst case scenario. This is why the Giants rumored to try to trade up to that one spot, both the quarterbacks, 1 and 2. And we've been hearing a lot about how none of them are, if it was a different draft, they wouldn't go in the top 5, whatever. That's cool and all, but we were hearing Bo Nix was a second-round quarterback last year. He went 12. So these quarterbacks always go higher than you think they might. And, you know, this is a really realistic start of the draft, these first 2 picks. But I've always said with pick number 3, I think we're in a good spot because we could get a guy like Travis Hunter. if this were to be the case, we weren't able to trade up. What?
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, I mean, obviously it sucks for, you know, this coaching staff or whatever, but as a Giants fan, I mean, you might have Travis Hunter's probably going to be very useful for the next 5 to 7 years, if not longer. So
yeah,
you know
and when it comes to Travis too, in terms of like our team needs, we need another receiver, and we could definitely use another corner. So, and I personally think he'll be able to play both ways. What people aren't factoring in, I know people think like, oh, there's no way he's going to be able to play on both sides of the ball, but this is a different guy. Like, he's built different. We haven't seen the amount of snaps that he was able to do on both sides of the ball.
And he won't play those many snaps.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Y'all will probably pick his primary position, and then there'll be a package or something along the lines of that for him to.
So this is what I'm envisioning with him. For most teams, I think what's going to happen is he's going to be primarily a corner, and then he's going to come in, play the slot. Now, slot receivers are not playing all the snaps as like a true X receiver.
I don't know if he plays slot for you guys.
I mean, not for us because of Wandell.
No, bro. I think Malik is in that move guy for you guys, and then. You know what I mean? You put Travis on the outside, just, you know what I'm saying? He just, because he can run. It's not like he's not like Wandell's like 5'9" or whatever. You know what I mean? And he might not be your ideal.
He's like 5'8".
5'8", okay, yeah, and he might not be your ideal outside wide receiver, but nonetheless, he's still 6'1", 6'2", and that's the same size as Jay Jettis. So it's like that it can get done. And I just think that you guys, you know, you're gonna keep Malik in that move position, in that pepper targeted wide receiver for you guys that works the inside, works the outside, wherever y'all need him to be at that day. And I think Travis comes in and just gives him a boost where it's like, all right, well, we got one-on-one, you know what I mean? It helps Malik get one-on-one. Or, you know what I'm saying, Travis Hunter's getting one-on-one, and they got the safety working inside to help contain Malik. Right there, boom. You got Travis Hunter on the second best cornerback on the team, or you got Malik on the second or third best cornerback on the team with inside safety help. So either way, there's options for the quarterback to do some work with those guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that there's not like a switch off where I could see his snaps right here. On offense, it's just showing me corner where, you know, he was in the slot a bit. But, yeah, but either way, you know,
we come out with the analysis to see if they got anything on him in there.
Let's see. I guess they didn't get to it yet. Now here's a guy. But yeah, either way, Travis Hunter, blue chip player. Colorado gets a lot of hate. So you got a lot of people repeating this, jack of all trades, master of none bullshit. You're not watching this kid play. His instincts are too elite, paired with the athleticism, paired with the fact that he eats, lives, drinks football. I think he's going to be elite on both sides. I think he has the potential to do it. So we get out with Travis Hunter. And then I saw Rich Eisen say today that, like, we made a serious like push for Matt Stafford. So I think they're just preparing for the worst, as in worst being, all right, we weren't able to get one of these top two guys, but we have a contingency plan. Maybe we get somebody in the second or third.
Yeah, I mean, obviously just due to the fact that free agency happens before the draft, I think you're going to, like, the veteran quarterback is going to be on your team regardless of who it is before it even gets to this point. But, you know, then you probably just got to assess the situation from there. So, but whatever, we'll keep pushing.
Yeah. So you're up. Patriots forward.
All right. So Patriots at 4. This is honestly, people think I'm like, I don't know. I know everybody's a genius. Oh, no quarterbacks, blah, 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 blah. But this is actually where I can see actually like the first pick. I can see Josh Ashton Genty going. I could actually see him going at 4. However, you know, I don't think that Abdul Carter, I think that, right now the medicals look a little scary on him and his foot and the surgery he's choosing not to get. But, I've always kind of told you that if Micah, who he gets compared to, was in that draft, he would have probably went for it. He should have went for it. Kier, Abdul Carter, I think he just, due to the fact that he's so good at football, and I think the Patriots have probably the third most cap space in the NFL right now. I think they'll take care of the offensive line for Drake May, and they go ahead and they select one of the best pass rushers in the draft, Abdul Carter, and hope that he changes their franchise on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy if he. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy if he went right here, but this would be a steal for the Patriots. I mean, they're in a position where they should just get best player available. There's holes all over the roster. Obviously, you want to protect. What?
They already got a QB, so it's like we're playing with how we're good. Yeah. That's what I mean. So it's like realistically, I mean, I don't think it will happen, but realistically, I could see Ashton Jeanty
Bro, stop it with that, bro. That'd be the goofiest pick ever.
Hey, it would be, but
it'd be so goofy because I mean Ramondre's straight. And then it's a deep running back class. You gonna pass up on. I mean, let's say Abdul Carter wasn't there. There's three, four,
is five. As much as I'm against running backs and shit, but doing my work on Jeanty, it's this is kind of nutty. This is crazy. We'll probably get on him eventually, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm at 5 with the Jags. Now with the Jags, I'm thinking trenches with them, and I'm gonna go ahead and give them Mason Graham. Now from the combine, I'm thinking about Will Campbell and how his stock fell a little bit, but yeah, pair Mason Graham with what they got going on that D line, Josh Hines, Allen. By the way, with Josh Allen, do you think he added the hyphen just to not be confused with the quarterback?
No, he said something. It had something to do with his family.
Oh,
he did say, yeah, but the thing. So I was on the Jaguars website doing my research on how they were feeling, and a lot of people close to that organization don't think that Mason Graham would be the pick due to the fact that they did just select a D lineman in last year's draft with their second round pick. And they just feel like they might go a different direction there. I don't think it'd be Will Campbell though. Also, but I
don't think it will be Will Campbell either. I don't think it would be Will Campbell.
So that's just something
you'll see. Depending on what you do, you'll see. If you don't take tackle first, you'll see who I got going to tackle first.
Right,
the first tackle off the board.
So right here, I've kind of had my feet in the sand with this one since the beginning. Ever since I started assessing the draft and hearing and reading about how people feel about the amount of talent, blue chip talent that's in this draft. At number 6, I think Pete Carroll, a guy who has a history of winning Super Bowls on the back of a tight running game. Strong offensive line, which, some people think that the Raiders already have. I think right here is a pick between a wide receiver and, Shadir, if he's still on the board, which I don't believe he will be. And also, I think Ashton Jeanty. I think right here is where the draft shakes up and gets a little weird. And Oakland Raiders select Ashton Jeanty with the 6th pick in the NFL draft. And, the reason why is basically because, can you go to Ashton Jeanty's real quick?
Yeah.
He has some stuff I've never have seen that before. He had over 1,900 yards after contact. When you watch that on film, it's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen in your life. Like Bijan's film, I always say, like, yo, he one of the prettiest running back, prettiest runners running the ball. Jamar Gibbs, they go crazy. Like their film looks like crazy. Like it's so entertaining. This dude as a running back is like, how the heck did he get out of that? He hit him. They went head up with each other. There's 3 people that tackled him, and he's spinning up out of that. And it's just kind of like, what's the name? Cam Scatterbo has a lot of yards after contact. It's not a season's worth of yards, of running back yards. And I just think that Jeanty is such a talent, and it's not necessarily about Jeanty's talent. I think it's due to the lack of talent in the draft at positions that we quote unquote consider more important than running back, that the Raiders decide, you know, we drafted on the orthodox. We're getting Brock Bowers. That kind of paid off for us. Offensive line is pretty solid. I'm sure they have second most, and it's like by a lot, salary cap. So I'm sure they'll figure out something with the quarterback position. Probably not the most ideal situation, but they'll have a guy back there, and they'll probably take a shot. They're willing to take a shot on Melrose or Dart in their second round pick. I think they go Jeanty here, and then they try to take shots at the quarterback position later in the draft. And again, one of the only reasons why I will also say that is because this is Pete Carroll, and he did this before, where he signed Matt Flynn, drafted Russell Wilson, and the rest was history. And that was with a stud running back, beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, who also was a first-round running back. I think might even been drafted 6th overall for the by the Buffalo Bills.
And they both have dreads, for what that's worth.
Right. So I just think this is an easy sell and a weak draft class. For Ashton Jeanty here at this spot. Again, I know everyone's like, oh, you don't draft the running back. I get it. But I crunched the numbers on this, and as much as I wouldn't want my team to do it, I think that they don't even get a shot to. Like I mean, I really like it's crazy. If he's able to break tackles like that in the NFL, bro, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the talent that he has, if Bijan could go 8, I have no issue with him going here at 6. And then
go ahead.
And then with Marshawn Lynch, I was just bringing it up. He went 12.
Oh, he went 12. Dang. Okay, I knew it was 6 or 12, but I thought 12 was too far back. The funny thing with that Bijan Robinson draft is that they decided to pass on Bijan draft. Who was it? Tyree Wilson. I want to say it was Tyree. So they drafted an edge rusher with all the measurables, and he was a boomer bust player, and that motherfucker can't get on the field. So, you know, I think when you talk to a certain franchise like that did it the right way or the popular way, where it was like, oh, well, you know, you guys said devalue this position and shoot for the stars with a boomer bust pass rusher, and it didn't work. Like their team would have, you know what I'm saying, whether we care or not, whether that's the right decision or wrong decision, their team would be a better football team if they had Bijan Robinson over David Tyree.
And that's a great example of, look, just because you have a need, you don't overdraft that need just because it's a need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, don't get cute. Like they not you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, they probably wanted to draft Jalen Carter, but they felt like they couldn't because of his background and what they were dealing with Henry Ruggs.
They were Henry Ruggs, yeah. That would have been that was a major discussion. Like, they should probably go him, but do y'all really want to, like, you know, you guys have like back-to-back situations, legal situations. So yeah, I feel that. Number 7 with the Jets. Jets are in an interesting situation. Aaron Glenn, he laid the hammer down, that law hammer. Like, yo, this is what we want going on with our quarterback. You're not with it. All right, deuces. Devontae Adams getting ready to get traded. So what? Huh?
He might be released.
He might be released.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Well, with this pick, I think Tyler Warren. You know, I know you didn't want them to get your boy Brock Bowers last year, but I think they load up on offense for whatever quarterback that they're going to bring in, and they seem like they always have to replenish their weapons. They get a do-it-all guy here, real athlete. Kind of reminds me a little bit of George Kittle. maybe George Kittle, maybe shades of TJ Hawkinson.
I
But
just wish some teams didn't have I wish they didn't.
yeah,
I
why are
wish,
you so against the Jets getting
bro, because
a blue chip tight end?
I don't want them to ruin good players' careers. Like I just wish the Jets didn't get the draft. Like, bro, like go somewhere. Like we'll send you over your players. Like I don't like. I just like. It's not because I don't like Tyler Warren. It's actually because I like him, and it's like I don't know if they're gonna be able to do what you need to do to exploit this man's talent. I just don't trust teams like the Jets with this. But I don't hate the pick. I just wish it wasn't the Jets. I just don't trade this junk. Get out of the round, bro. Get into somebody else.
Yo, it's a new regime with New York. You know, I mean, Aaron Glenn, former Jet, he's about to make some changes happen.
Yeah, I know, and I mean, I hope so. Again, I like him as much as I like Brock Bowers. Like, I really just with tight ends, man. I just really always want them to go to a good situation because we know what happens if they don't. Like, we know what happens, and like the player gets shit on for it. So
you're talking about Kyle Pitts?
I mean, yeah, but even Eric Ebron. You know what I mean? Like even Noah Fant, like we can go down for years of tight ends that are selected in the first round because they had measurables that kind of compared to Gronk, or people thought, oh, well, he can do what Gronk does, and it's like, nah, he can't do what Gronk does because he don't got Tom Brady back there, and you know what I mean, the offensive coordinators that were working for New England.
You can make that argument for my team when we drafted Evan Ingram in the first.
Yeah. And I mean, shoot, he was one of the original jokers, the original like big slot tight end wide receiver guy. Like it is just kind of like he ended up having a good career. Even kind of with y'all, he did pretty well. And then now over here with the Jaguars is probably when he had his most yards. But yeah, it just takes so long for them to get going. And you know, the sucky thing is
not anymore. They've been kind of jumping off the map early.
Well, I mean, I guess, but I'm just saying from the on average over the past few years, historically, it takes like even Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is probably going to be on his second team and a fine tight end, and he's only going to be like 25 years old. You know what I mean? Like
I'm still not drafting him in fantasy until he's not a Falcon. Then I'll draft him. Then that's when my stock will rise on him.
Yeah, but I guess it's my pick. So here, with on the clock with Carolina, I think due to the fact that they had to trade Brian Burns last year, and then Frankie Louvu, who had an amazing year with Washington, was gone, and basically their entire defense outside of Xavier Woods was just interchangeable pieces. I think they definitely aim defense here. And they go to the defensive line. Can I pull that up for me real quick? Go to the edge for me real fast.
Okay.
Yeah, edge. Yeah, and I think here is where go down. I think this is where Mikael Williams ends up going. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a team. You're not getting past the entire draft without teams trying to go for these guys that are uber athletic, and that's what he is. He's a uber athletic edge who can play linebacker. He can play, you know what I mean. He can play on the defensive end, on the edge, and to move as well as he moves at 265, like someone's going to take that risk. And I think Carolina, right here in this position, is the team that goes ahead and goes. Is this the first defensive player we picked or the second?
Nah. This
third,
is third
or fourth.
Okay. Mason Graham.
Yeah.
All right. So Mikael Williams goes Saints. The way you feel about the Jets is how I be feeling about the Saints, bro. And
deservedly so.
Yeah. So because it's like, bro, what are y'all doing? Can y'all just hit the make big steps to hit the reset button, please? Like, so because of that, though, there's holes all over the roster. They're going to have some more money next year. Obviously, they have the least amount of cap space right now. They're really in the red. But to me, for them, you gotta build up the trenches with young players. I'm going first tackle off the board is going to be Membu, big riser from the combine. Just big as hell, and he ran a 4.9. That loud 40. If did you peep that?
Yeah.
But I think he's a big riser, and the thing with Will Campbell, he was kind of I don't like the winner loser thing. I don't really think he's a loser. I just don't like that word with it. But just the lack of length and wingspan on Will Campbell, he might really just be a guard. And I think that makes Membu the first tackle off the board, and someone will pick Will Campbell up as he drops.
Yeah. And I mean, even realistically, like this could be that pick right here. I don't think though that they will go Will Campbell, even though he would be a nice insertion in at guard. I think that they're going to go. Can you go to the tackles for me real quick? The guy that I hear a lot about is Kelvin Banks Jr. I mean, he really made him some money during their championship college football run.
I thought you were going to go Josh Simmons.
Nah. I mean, maybe once these guys are off the board, but right now with a healthy football player who I got film of playing, just over 2 months ago, I'm gonna select that player. This is another tackle, but really he's gonna maybe they kick him out the tackle, or they might just insert him in at guard and keep their left tackle. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, I just think right here he's gonna be like he has a chance to be an all-pro guard or at least a Pro Bowler at guard, and then if he does beat out the starter right now at tackle, boom, you and then have him insert the guard. But nonetheless, I just think that he was one of the biggest risers, and not even based off of what he did at the combine, just based off what his film showed throughout the season and even into the playoffs. So I think right here, Kelvin Banks Jr. gets his name called right before San Francisco goes, which they're probably sick about.
Definitely sick. For the Niners, I'm thinking trenches, whether that's O-line or D-line. And for them, I'm thinking they go okay, where do they have him listed? I think they go Jalen Walker here.
Really?
Yeah, I think they go Jalen Walker. Everyone's looking for these Swiss Army types. He could definitely drop back in coverage. He's freaky athletic, could be that versatile guy. And I think he has a lot of peers that he could learn from in that locker room on that defense with who they have there between Fred Warner, Bosa, just a lot of talent there. And I think, this would be an interesting fit for the Niners.
Yeah. Now, this is actually an interesting pick because the Cowboys need everything. And the best part about needing everything is like they really just, as long as you just stay here and pick, they can't really piss me off. You know what I mean? Like it's like we're almost at the back end of it sucks we weren't able to get any of the healthy talent on the offensive line. We could still get Will Campbell if you want him to play guard. I guess that would be fine. Ideally, I would want probably Kelvin Banks if we were doing something here. The fact that Simmons is injured and he tore his patella, that just kind of scares me because it's just 50-50. He can come back 100%. And if he is, he's graded as, one of the better tackles in this draft, a true tackle even. But, right here, I'm really going to find out what the Cowboys, what our identity is going to be. Like, is it going to be ground and pound? We're going to run the football. Is it going to be, we're throwing it, 35 times a game, 40 times a game, and we're going to win that way. So I am going to be excited. I just want them to just stay right here and pick whatever's available, even if it is one of those athletic defensive players. But I do think that they end up going – I'm going to go Tet here.
Thank God. I was hoping that you made that move.
Yeah.
I was hoping that's what you were about to say.
And the reason I'm going Tet is because he's 6'4", 6'5", outside wide receiver. Now I understand the team not wanting Tet to be their wide receiver one. Matet's coming in. He's our wide receiver too. So he never really has to worry about that number one assignment. He doesn't have to be no burner. We got Dak Prescott. You know, he just needs to be a wide what's it called? What do they call it? What kind of catcher? It's a big body. He just needs to be a big body that we can target. In his film, you see he runs routes well enough, and also he understands how to catch radius. He's going to have a wide catch radius, and he understands how to seal off players. When you're this tall and you are a smooth route runner, you don't necessarily need to go ahead and be a burner. I know everybody is really, really praising Matthew Golden right now. Deservedly so. He just ran the 4.29, but I just think at the end of the day, this guy has more production. And for our football team, I think a 6'4" outside wide receiver that can potentially get open against some man-to-man coverage could really, really benefit the offense. And you got more pick. You got more draft. You got more draft picks. So we'll address the other needs with those picks.
Yeah, that'd be a steal for y'all, and I think it would just be a great fit. So definitely like the pick. With the Dolphins here, pick 13, got to protect that boy Tua, address the trenches. Our boy here, Will Campbell, fell a little bit compared to how he's been mocked recently. He gets hit with that combo, draft fatigue, mock fatigue, along with his measurables. But if he could be a guard for them for the next 10, 15, this is a steal of a pick if he pans out.
Yeah, I mean at 13 though, you know what I mean? Like, cool. I wouldn't be mad at it. So, I got an all pro guard at pick 14 back in 2014, and that was one of the best. We got better that day. Like I remember tweeting Edelman said he was like, the Cowboys got better today. And if we would have got Johnny Manziel, I don't, you know what I mean? Obviously, we wouldn't have got better that day. But, you know what I'm saying? It's up in the air. But I don't know if you could stamp, the Cowboys got better today if we would have drafted.
Bro, imagine if y'all got Manziel because he went to Cleveland. He couldn't even focus there. Imagine the love and all that. He would have gotten Dallas coming from Texas.
Yeah, that one hurt Jerry. It hurt Jerry Jones. Like that one hurt Jerry Jones. That was the first time that they took the phone away from him and they passed him the bottle and told him to get your ass in the corner and get to drinking. We got to make this pick.
All right, you got the Colts at 14, bro.
Okay, yeah. So Tyler Warren is off the board. So I think, the Colts are probably hoping that they could do something with him. Right now, the Colts still have a decent offensive line. And I really, really do like Tyler Booker. I think he's a solid offensive lineman, but just because, right now, I think Indianapolis, they've taken a lot of shots at edge. They've taken a shot in the last 2 or 3 drafts at edge. I think this is where you go to cornerback real quick. I think this is where we could see a Jahdae Barron going, or one of the people that really, really got boosted up due to the draft, 6'3".
Combine.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name, but I'm not about to pick him right now, but when I
and the safety you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The thing with Jahdae Barron is he's essentially the what's the name of the DB for Detroit? Deion Branch.
Brian
Branch. He's basically Brian Branch. In all accounts. He might not run the fastest 40 and he might not be the biggest, but he's been 5'10" his entire life. He knows how to play at 5'10". And you can play him at cornerback, you can play him at nickel, you can put him in the box, you can put him at safety, and he's going to make plays for you. And I think right now for the Colts, due to the fact that they have thrown a ton of resources at edge rusher, I think that they go ahead and they take a chance on him with this pick. And
on who? On who, bro?
Go up. You didn't hear me say his name?
Nah, who?
Jahdae Barron.
Oh, you're going.
Yeah, Jahdae Barron.
Okay, you're going with the corner. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's for some reason it says corner, but really he's DB. He can do everything on the football field. But yeah. So he's just one of those players. Again, he shot up the I don't like to say shot up the boards because draft hasn't happened yet. But he's one of those guys who Malachi Starks kind of was getting more praise than him throughout the season. But when you go back and watch the film, no matter who they put him on, he kind of was clamps. And he gets dirty in the run game too. So I just think he might end up being the pick here, especially because of guys like Brian Branch being undervalued in the past and being so valued once they get on their current football team. I don't think the Colts make that mistake here.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely like the pick. I like Barron's game. All right. So with the Falcons, obviously they've gone offense for like the past 5 drafts. Bijan, Drake, Pitts, Penix. So finally,
Bergeron, a guard. They drafted a first round guard.
True. But yeah, they need to address the defense. They weren't getting a lot of pass rush. They were getting a little bit more pass rush towards the end of the season, but yeah, they got to address that in the first round this year. And just based off how this draft is going, they do have a lot of options, to take a strike at. And for them, I'm going to go. And then this is a draft where I'm going by like what I feel like they do, what I think they do. I just feel like I can see them going James Pierce here. Now, obviously, he has some character concerns, whatever. We'll see how much that matters. Notes that we'll get from the interviews and whatnot. He's definitely going to have to address those things. But freaky athletic, fast as hell, going to blitz hard off the edge. And I just think the Falcons, if not him, maybe a Mike Green, maybe where is he at? Maybe a Shamar Stewart. He rose from the combine. But I'm going to go James Pierce for this one.
Yeah, someone's going to draft Shamar Stewart, man, and they're going to be pissed.
Oh, you don't like
no, I take it back. They might not be pissed because I could see him being a decent run stopper. But he's just not giving you that production at edge like that. Like
that's
sometimes
hilarious.
you got to watch the player. And it's like, yo, how you built like this and you only got 2.5 sacks? What was you doing up there?
He needs to add to his pass rush move bag.
So he's sometimes now right here we got Arizona again, another team where I guess what all things considered outside of quarterback and maybe possibly tight end, they kind of they kind of need a little bit of everything.
For sure.
I think I'm gonna go D line here. Interior D line. And I think I'm gonna select Kenneth Grant for them. He's just a 330 big pass rusher, run stopper. I think if he's able to control the middle of the trenches for them, that could definitely help them, especially help the defense in the running game. And if he can generate some pass rush, get a little bit of push, I think that could also be a boost to him. So right now, I just think the most valuable player for Arizona is to go D-line, and then whatever is available at guard or tackle in the second round, I think that's where they take a crack at one of those options.
Yeah, so this is the first time where you kind of grab somebody right before me. I was going to grab him for the Bengals, just looking forward. But Bengals, interesting spot. To me, they definitely need to address the trenches. But definitely on defense, the defense was abysmal, part of the reason why they missed the playoffs. But on the offensive side of the ball, they just released Alex Kappa today. So definitely a lot of directions they could go. I'm going to go ahead and it's between Nolan and Harmon. I'm going to go Derek Harmon for them. Plug in the middle. Definitely needs help stopping the run. And they missed out on Grant, but get the guy from Oregon.
Yeah. So for me, Seattle, again, another team. Oh, go ahead.
No, do you think?
Yeah, another team where I can kind of see, due to the Mike McDonald's defense, and the way that the draft is going, I can see them kind of going a few different directions here. But who I really like for them, since he's still on the board, I think in the real draft he's going to go a little bit higher. I like Jahad Campbell. Jahad Campbell is the number one linebacker in the draft. He's not one of these cats that he pass rushes or he can rush the passer, this, that, the other thing. They say he has the potential to rush the passer, but I think in this defense, he's just the one that called. He is the Dre Greenlaw, Dre Greenlaw, and who's the other San Francisco 49ers?
Fred Warner.
Yeah, like I don't think like people are trying to say that he can rush. I don't think they even want to have him do that. I think he's so good at playing linebacker, especially on pass plays and carrying people up the field. I think that he's just going to specialize as a 3-down linebacker that diagnoses, run plays, and plays well on dropbacks. So I think that's something that he's one of those chess pieces. Mike McDonald, obviously, he didn't mind valuing Patrick Queen, and also Raquan Smith when he was in Baltimore, spending a first-round pick on one of those linebackers and also paying the highest salary ever to an inside linebacker at the time, while also giving up a first-round pick for Raquan Smith. I think here he's able to get that same type of linebacker that kind of just overall runs his defense. Maybe he doesn't change it first year, but he's the guy that's going to be the one installing it for the rest of his career for Seattle.
Okay, that's interesting. I thought you were going to go O-line there, but
yeah, I mean, again, they can use it, but they've took some shots at O-line, and it's not necessarily that their O-line was bad. It's just they were unhealthy. So sometimes like people get confused with like a bad O-line and an unhealthy O-line. So, and also we're doing this pretty early. So obviously some of these
it's going to be patched up in free agency.
Some of these holes are going to be filled up before we even get to the draft. So, but I just think that in regards to the positions, I don't think there's another linebacker like Jahad Campbell in this draft. Like I think he's linebacker 1, and there's a bunch of solid, good linebackers that can stop the run or maybe play the pass well, but there's not anyone that's going to just do all 3 of those things, and also has the potential to rush the passer.
Facts. All right. Well, 19 with the Bucs. I think they run to the podium 9 and 5 seconds. Get Will Johnson. They've been lacking in the secondary for some time now. I have a Bucs fan, a diehard, that would love this pick. He'd be elated. He's been waiting for them to go corner. Yeah, but he's been.
So does he not care? Like he don't care about? Okay.
He don't care about what? You know him.
I mean, that's what I was like. I realized when you started, I was like, okay, never mind. Not even trying to throw shade, but it's just kind of like Will Johnson's dropping for a reason. And I think he's going to drop even further than this. There's something there, bro. There's something there. He's not running. Why are you not running? Like, you didn't run at the combine. Okay, you're going to run at your pro day, but we already know, like, you didn't run at the combine because you didn't want to get you were scared of the laser. So, I just think that he's doing a lot of things.
Go deeper in some of the rumors you're hearing.
I mean, I'm just hearing that he don't really love football like that. And
that's always a problem.
Yeah, and at the combine, he didn't do himself any favors. Obviously, he didn't work out, he didn't run. And the thing with him is he did have good film his freshman, sophomore year, but this year, due to injuries or whatever, it doesn't look like he's gotten better. And that's something that concerns people. Like, we love to see you freshman year, Derek Stingley, light it up. But after we see you light it up, we like to see some progression after that. And then we like to see you come into the draft. This guy, essentially, respectfully, is still getting, because of the fact that he is a 6'1", 200-pound corner, he's getting that PS2 comparison, but it's like, buddy, you're not PS2. Like, he's not. And if you're getting him thinking like, yeah, okay, we got that 200-pound, 6 foot, sub 6 foot something outside cornerback, you know, you in for that a wrong surprise. Like, he's not Pat Surtain. He's not one of those cornerbacks. And
so do you think Will Johnson, based off that, he's dropping around 2? Where do you see him falling?
Yeah. I mean, a Joey Porter Jr. can drop to round 2, similar to the same, due to just basically a bad combine. Like, we knew he loved football, and he still kind of dropped. He dropped to round 2. Pittsburgh traded up for him.
Well, that's not really the full story. Just how that draft went. A lot of shit just got pushed back. Remember?
Well, cornerback got pushed back, but nonetheless, I think Joey Porter is a better prospect than Will Johnson. And you talked about how he dropped. And Pittsburgh did their thing to go get him early, fast. But I don't know if what Will Johnson's going to have to light it up at his pro day in order for him to get back into the first round, probably. So,
all right, man, we'll see. All right, 20 Broncos.
All right here. Apparently, the rumor is Sean Payton and the Broncos, they've been keeping it a buck with us since he got there. He like, yo, if I like it and I want you, I'm telling them that's what I want. We knew he wanted Audric Estime. He got Audric Estime. We knew he loved Bo Nix. He got Bo Nix. Right now, coming out of the combine, everybody's saying that the Broncos, they're targeting tight end. So we're gonna go get
Loveland.
Tight end out of Michigan. Go.
No, I was saying Loveland.
Oh, yeah. Colston Loveland. Now, this Elijah Aworo dude, we won't get on him today, but later on in the process, man, I got some, like, this is the shit that kills me about the draft. Players like him kill me about the draft. All this motherfucker has ever been is injured, but somehow, like, he got boosted off, but they were calling him a potential first-round pick. And I'm like, if a franchise decides to draft this guy in the first round, whatever happens once he gets to your organization, that's on y'all. Like, that is on y'all. He's never been healthy. He got hurt at the All-Star game, at the Shrine game,
at the Shrine Bowl,
at the Senior Bowl. Like, he got hurt at the Senior Bowl. Like, whatever, man. These guys know more than I do, but
I haven't heard crazy rumblings about him. People saying he's going in the first.
They were, before this combine, they were like, oh, like he shot up to because I mean, in his practices, he had good practices, but then you go and you're like, wait, this dude's knee has been ripped up 2.5 times over the past 3.5 years. What are we doing here? Are we sure this is what we want to do? Like, he never played. He barely played this year. That's why people didn't know about him until the practices, to the Senior Bowl practice.
Shit. Well, I'm fucking seated to see where he goes now, and I'm gonna hit you during the draft. Like, hey, there goes your boy in the early second.
Yeah, hey, you're gonna be like you literally when they talk about him, you're like, damn, why did they draft him?
All right, for the Steelers at 21, I think this is a spot where we could see Jackson Dart, but due to some of their needs and where this guy still is, I think they go Matthew Golden here. This would be a great spot for them. They need another receiver. Can't rely on Mike Williams and Calvin Austin. Go ahead and get yourself Matt Golden, second, or if you want to count second or third receiver off the board here. So Travis at 3, we had Tech go to y'all, and then we're gonna have Golden go to the Steelers at 21.
Yeah, Matthew Golden's an interesting case study. One of my well trusted like people that I watch, he always said when you would go to watch, you have another wide receiver in the draft, but he would go to watch other wide receivers on Texas, and he would end up on Matthew Golden. And he's like, wait, this guy's draft eligible. And A few others, they say he kind of reminds them of Chris Olave. Then he comes out, obviously, runs a 4.29. I definitely think that Matthew Golden will go higher than we're selecting him in this draft based off of
100%.
Based off the fact that he is a solid route runner and can catch the ball. The only thing is that 4.29 is not on the film. Like, it's not on the film at all. You know what I mean? Remember that one time?
Go ahead.
Remember that one time you watched Quentin Johnson run? You were like, bro, he's mad slow.
Yeah.
It's not like that dramatic, but it's along the lines of like, yo, where's the gas?
He's like the reverse Tez Johnson running that. What did he run? Didn't he run like a 4.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, but his game speed, he don't look like he run a 4.5. So you're saying it's like the opposite?
I mean, he just does it different ways because he's nuanced with his route running and stuff. And he is getting open. It's just that, like, where's the gas? Like, where is that gas? 4.29 is serious speed. Like, you notice that. You know what I mean? You notice that in the player. Like, if we talked about Jalen Hyatt when he was in college, it's like you thought he could clock a 4.29. He didn't. But, like, because of how he played in college, it looked like, oh, yeah, this cat got to be. And, his film just doesn't show that. But, yeah, I think this is a good pick for sure for Pittsburgh. And also, yeah, just keep an eye out for Matthew Golden moving up the draft board as we move on over the next 51.
All right, back to it. Yeah, like Austin said, look out for Golden. I think he'll go in the top 12, 15. But what you got for the Chargers?
For the Chargers, I got Amarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And the funniest thing about him, I've been like, honestly, like, I do actually believe that he has a chance of going higher than anyone expects. Like, I could believe a team drafted him high. Like, I told my boy, I was like, yo, don't be surprised if the Cowboys draft this man with the 12th overall pick. He's like, no, I don't want him, And I'm like, bro, I get it. You don't want him, and you don't think that we need to draft him. But again, like I told you earlier, when it came to the Cowboys, they did a lot of it's a lot of identity and talking about running the ball. And I think the Cowboys' dream scenario is obviously for Genty to be there. But if he's not, and they're hell bent on having like a 3-down back to run the ball, I think they might fuck around and they might go Amarion Hampton. And now I don't think they'll do this. I wouldn't be mad about it, especially in the trade back. But if I read his scouting report to you, dog, you'd be like, oh, this dude, he's nice. All right. So and this is all before. This is December 19th. So this is before the combine. You know what I mean? This is not combine rap. 5'11", 220 pounds. First team 2024, 2023. Second team All-America 2023. Doak Award finalist in 2020, 2023. Showcases an excellent blend of speed and power that forces teams to add bodies into the box. You want to hear that, right? Violent runner, explodes through the alley, short hands, contact balance, minimal wasted movements. I'm not going to go into the highlights, but long story short, Buddy, when he runs, he looks like a stronger Tony Pollard, for real. And then if you read through all of this, all it is glowing remarks. In space, Hampton flashes, comfortable hands, caught 38 of 43 targets, is quick to turn upfield. Depth of targets remains limited, but he has shown the ability to separate on longer developing routes, advanced in pass protection, and has the strength to knock free runners backwards. So that right there is showing you that he's a third down back as a pass catcher and as a run as a pass like as a blocker. So I'm like, yo, this cat is nice. And then I go to the projections and they say day one Pro Bowl caliber. And I'm like, look, I know we love Genty, yo, but this count might be nice. Then
so you're looking at this as a potential like Gibbs situation where all the attention was on Bijan for a while, and then kind of eventually it was clear like, yeah, Gibbs, not only might he be better low key, but he's definitely going to go super
good.
high.
He's just as valuable. Yeah, and I remember like that was a funny draft because I'm sure you probably seen the clip or maybe you haven't, but in one of the clips, Jameer, he says, yeah, Dallas said that they was going to take me at 26. And it's like, yo, y'all funny as hell. Y'all thought y'all was gonna get that boy 14 picks later. You know what I mean? And it's like, so yeah, maybe somebody takes him.
So you're this high on Amari and Hampton, and we're doing this mock based off what we think the teams are going to do. So if it were up to you, and I guess you could answer either way. If it was up to you, or what do you think the Cowboys are going to do? If Ted is there, Omar and you know what I mean? Which one?
I think if it was Genty, because of how the jerseys and like that marketing ability, I think it's Genty no matter what, whether motherfuckers like it or not.
No Genty. Genty's taking at 6.
Yeah, but if I think they would go Tet. If they did go Amari Hampton, I'm prepared for it though. And I wouldn't be upset because when I look at the scouting report, it's like, all right, well, at least he's going to be a Pro Bowler. And it goes to what I was saying to you earlier. It's like, all right, if you feel as if like he's about to change the way we play football. And again, we got the offensive line coach from Kansas State and the offensive line coach and offensive coordinator from Arizona, who has a pretty solid run game without that. Like they don't have no talent on their offensive line. And they have James Conner, and they just have a good running scheme. So if they're really like, oh, we want to run the ball, we want to emphasize the running game, and they decide like, yo, we want to emphasize the running game. We don't want to get cute. We don't want to draft 2-3 backs like a regular team. We just want this set it and forget it running back. And they drafted him. A lot of people will be outraged, but when you go back and do the homework on Buddy, it's like, all right, but just dedicate to the run. Don't cap and get some running back, and then we throwing it with Dak 40 times a game. Like be run heavy. You know what I'm saying? And have a legit scheme. All I'm saying, I don't know how this football player is getting past Pittsburgh, is getting past the Chargers, getting past the Vikings. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got this guy getting out the back of that first round, even with the wideouts on the board.
Who, Hampton?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, we've been, everyone's been raving about how deep this running back class is. So, for him to go here, I could see him going earlier for sure. I could definitely see him going at 12 for y'all. So,
and again, like I think, there's a bunch of there's a bunch of different flavors of running back in this class. Like if you need a scat back, a power back, pass catching back, you know what I mean? Zone running back. There's a bunch of different flavors in this draft, but I think there's only 2 running backs that no matter what offense you run in, they work for you. And I think that's Genty and I think that's Amari Hampton. But I think you can get the running back position figured out due to all the, the running backs in this draft. They said there's 36 draftable running backs in this class.
Yeah, that's crazy. But to your point, though, I mean, I love him with the Chargers, though, especially how they're going to use him. Like this is a smash pick right here. Smash pick.
You know what I mean? It is like the Chargers, like, yo, we just got Ladd in the second, bro. Like we figure out some shit. We got Justin Herbert throwing the ball, bro. We just need to protect them and get somebody that's fast and run away from the defense. Like,
he's protected. They definitely made sure of that. So just need a running back that doesn't have that injury history. Just revamp that joint.
And I think if it was a different offense, if it was a different coach, maybe I'll go wide out here. Like I go Luther Burton or something. But because like we kind of had the same idea. Like we kind of understand the philosophy of the Chargers with Jim as their coach. It's just like, bro, there's no way they passing up a running back like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Pick 23. With them, I think the Packers. Usually they don't go receiver, but I think they would take like a Golden here. I know they like never take receiver in the first. I think they're sick about Barron not being here, but I'm gonna go for them. They're losing Jair Alexander. Going to take one of the biggest risers from the combine, fastest 40, Maxwell Hairston. Have them, revamp that secondary and. Yeah, this feels like a very Packers pick to me.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that pick a lot. Here again, similar situation. I know they're saying that guard is need, but I think that Minnesota, I think the only reason guard was in need was because they had a few injuries on their offensive line, and they don't have a lot of salary cap, but they got a good amount. I think what they do is similar to what they did with Amarion Hampton, and they drafted a running back. I think this is where you kind of assess the situation and you decide, like, all right, who's just the more talented football player overall? Is it, and then you look at the board. We at the back end of the draft. It's not like we at the front where we have to get hit on a blue chip player. It's like, what player do we like the most? And I think, because of what he did at the combine, can you go to running back and go to Judkins?
I have all of them loaded up here right here. So you think they go Judkins?
Yeah, I think they go Christian Judkins, and I think that they go Judkins here just due to the fact that they kind of got the wide receiver already. They actually got a solid wide receiver room. Like I said, I think they use their money for O-line, and they got their quarterback situation figured out, whether that is retaining Sam Darnold or rocking with the young boy JJ. And I just think that they're just one of those teams at the back end of this round that the last thing that they need on their offense to be completed is to take a running back. So I think they probably take a nice little running back here. Quinshon Judkins, he had nice speed and he already has good size. I think that he could be a possible every down back for them. And then I think they just throw darts at all those other positions. D-line.
Yeah, I think they'd be sick about Hampton being here. This is actually a spot that I could see if the Vikings knowing what the Chargers.
Both of those two. I think they're mad about your pick too.
Who? Hairston?
I think Minnesota's mad that you took Hairston here. Like, I think they're mad that Hampton they're mad they got wiped out by Marion Hampton and Maxwell Hairston.
Yeah, so in the draft, I could see this being a spot. Obviously, we're not doing trades, but I could see them looking for, like, think about it. With the Chargers, we know what they want to run the ball. This seems like a spot that Hampton would go. And then, like you said, Hairston right there, or even if it's like Barron still available, I could see this being a spot where the Vikings are like, we got to trade up with like Pittsburgh or Denver or some shit like that.
Or at least they try. Maybe they try.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But for the Texans at 25, I feel like this is mocked pretty often, but it is a need and it just seems perfect. I have them going Mecca Ibuka here, reunite him with CJ Stroud. Tank Dell, brutal injury towards the end of the season. Stephon Diggs got hurt, and it kind of seemed like even though they tried to overcompensate a receiver, they still were left like pretty low in depth at the position, and they get a good slot guy here.
And I mean, for me personally, man, like he's the most dependable wide receiver in this draft. And when you already got a wide receiver one, kind of similar to what I was saying about us, they're in the same position, but opposite. Nico, he can do his thing in the slot, but he's an outside X wide receiver, old-fashioned speed, and just like out on the outside, people can't handle him. They need that.
Kind of like the reverse of your situation, yeah, for sure.
Exactly. They need that inside guy that can stay healthy. They tried it with Diggs. It was working out for a little while. And then, unfortunately, he tore his ACL. They really love Tank Dell, but he's just having like the worst luck ever. Maybe it's not luck; it might also be the fact that he's 5'8", 165 pounds.
And that was a concern going into the draft for why he was selected where he was. Obviously, CJ Stroud vouched for him. I think he met him at the combine or maybe a pro day, wherever. But really vouched for him, really liked him as a player. But, injuries were a concern coming out of college for him. But seems like the perfect spot to go ahead and reload at that position. So,
yeah. And then here, I'm going with the Rams. Can you go to DBs, safeties?
You're going, You're going, I'm going to have trouble pronouncing his name.
Yeah. Well, Nick Emma Warrior. We'll just hope that works. The reason why I'm selecting him here is because LA, they're kind of known like if Tyler Warren was whatever this to be here, like this is where I would want Tyler Warren to go. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the type of team that I just think, they assess the board. They're at 26. They're looking at him, speed, quickness, 6'3", and they're one of those teams that they don't have a set scheme that they run. They have chess pieces and they use their chess pieces. They lucked up, got some solid D tackles, and then obviously selecting Verse with their 8th pick. Was that the 8th pick or 12th? What was it?
It was definitely
it was in the middle round.
It was like a mid round. I think it was like maybe like 18th or something because the defense just went super late.
And exactly. He was a player that had potential to be drafted higher than he was selected, but due to the fact that there was a run on offense, they didn't trip. They just were like, all right, y'all took all the offensive players.
I was close. Pick 19.
Pick 19, yeah. So it's like, okay, all the players that we, would have considered on offense are gone. We'll go ahead and take the best player available. And I think right here, just due to the fact that you can do so much with him, 6'3", 220, that's an in the box linebacker. Like that, he can do whatever you want him to do. So I think they just take him and they make him a nice little chess piece for their defense right before Baltimore goes.
And I think we go on the run with safeties here, and they go ahead and get Malachi Starks, pair him up with Kyle Hamilton, and just improve that secondary. Obviously they have Nate Wiggins. He started to show a lot of flash. I mean, I think he was like, let's say he was like a top 15 rookie last year.
Nate Wiggins. For sure. And and again, this is what the Baltimore Ravens do. Like, we let y'all pick, and then whatever is left over that we consider, a high grade on our board, whatever the best player available is, we'll just select them and figure it out. I think this is a perfect place for Malachi Starks. And you already know he's going to be Brian Branch. You already know he's going to be Brian Branch. Like, off bat, he's probably, if he goes to the Ravens, I'm seriously, like, I got him getting like 4 picks. At least 4 picks.
Yeah, this would be a great pick for the Ravens. I mean, I could just they don't get enough credit for how they draft because I feel like they just been drafting well for so long for the most part, and they're
players ball.
Yeah, and recently they've just been picking here regardless, but they're almost like the Eagles, like you said, just we'll take whatever and we're gonna make great use out of this guy. Trust.
Yeah, okay, you don't want this good center? All right, we'll draft them. All pro rookie. You know what I mean? You don't want this 6'2" cornerback that runs a 4.2? All right, well, we'll figure out something with him. Like it's just
that's the thing about this draft as well, is the talent is pretty spread out to the point where around here you could get a guy that is in other drafts, and for that position, like it's like, this is a top 10 talent right here. And you could get him in the back of the draft.
Yeah, my pick with Detroit. I think Detroit, they had a lot of injuries on defense, but even if they didn't, it looked like pass rusher was something that they really, really had issues with.
They're major players to try to get Myles Garrett, from what I've heard.
Right. So that hasn't happened yet, but with that being said, I think due to the fact that they were so close to the Super Bowl, I know this player has a lot of questionable baggage in his background that definitely needs to get sorted out, and a lot of teams are going to probably just have him off the board. But due to the fact that it's a talent, and Detroit feels as if they probably have a culture that
could override that, kind of like with Jalen Carter.
Yeah, can take on a player like that due to the fact that there's other solid guys in the locker room, and the structures there. I think that they go ahead and they select Mike Green, edge rusher, formerly from Virginia, but now at Marshall. And, just to give Aiden Hutchinson some help when he comes back, we know he's a dog, but to be able to have somebody else that can speed rush and have some power on the other side makes them a dangerous little force. And I think that's one of those things that can help them get over the hump, even if they don't fix anything else on their defense.
Okay. So with Washington, obviously they overperformed. They were picking 2 last year. Now they're picking 29. Impressive run by Jaden Daniels and them boys. And the roster, if you stack their roster up against all of the playoff teams, easily the weakest roster out of all the playoff teams. So they're playing with house money. They got that rookie scale contract. Now they just picked up Deebo Samuel, but I think I'm going to go with the guy that sort of, he gets like Deebo-like comparisons, and you don't know how Deebo's health is going to hold up anyways. No reason. Just because you got Deebo doesn't mean, all right, we're not going to address the receiver position in the draft. I think they go ahead and get Luther Burden here.
So basically, I mean, that right there, looking at that, that's kind of why I'm a little, I don't know. I guess Deebo brings more excitement than Luther Burden, but I feel
he can learn from Deebo.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm looking at the draft and I'm them, I'm like, yeah, we can definitely get that because he does the same things as Deebo. You know what I mean? Like, he's that slot yak after catch guy. He's not necessarily like a route running outside, inside guy. They already got Terry McLaurin to play on the outside. They needed a solid wide receiver too. I think that, a healthy Deebo could be a solid wide receiver too. He talked that he was 20 pounds heavier. He played at 20 pounds heavier than he should have been playing at 225, which is, so I could see Luther Burden doing the same things as Deebo. Like you said, he can learn from him. This is expensive $21 million. We could have got Buddy right here for probably, half of that.
But like we know with free agency being before, you just never know. There's no guarantee that he's there for him.
Right. I mean, I think they still, even if it wasn't Luther Burden, I think they could still get a wide out here at this pick. It's a few of them.
For sure.
But yeah, okay. So I guess it's me right here.
Yep.
With the Buffalo Bills, heartbroken, defeated Buffalo Bills. It hasn't really just been going the way that they needed to, but they took a shot at wide receivers. They extended one of their wide receivers that's pretty dependable on their team. I don't think that they're going to go wide receiver this early. I do think they'll double dip later in the draft. But can you go to cornerback for me real quick? I do think Siobhan Revell, a very, very good man-to-man cornerback, can possibly be where he gets selected here to play on the outside for them and just kind of, hold that down for the next few years. Solid cornerback, ended up injured, tearing his ACL, I believe. But before he did, again, 6'3", 198 pounds, just a perfect outside corner for this day and age in the NFL. Can come up, tackle pretty well. And yeah, I just think that they selected a nice little solid cornerback that could be a day one starter for them. And they just throw pieces at everything else that they need throughout the draft. Because they technically have gotten their wide receivers. They just need them to pan out. But I wouldn't be surprised if they took a shot at one of these wide receivers in the second round, to play on the outside, on the other side of Coleman.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought you were going to go edge there, not going to lie. I feel like there's a lot of good options at edge still left, but for sure I could see corner. I mean, they got rid of so many pieces of the secondary before last season.
Yeah, and I really I went cornerback because this is a D-line heavy draft. So I think that they'll still be able to get good quality, especially run stuffing defensive linemen and defensive ends later in the draft. But there's not really that many man-to-man corners in this draft. And I just think that there might be a run at corner just due to the fact that there's not a lot of them in this draft. It's going to be completed really quick.
No, I got you. Yeah, despite the injury concerns with this guy, when it comes to Kansas City, I think they do their homework, talk to whatever doctors, hope everything's on the up and up there. But this past Super Bowl, they got crushed in the trenches. Moving Tooney to the left tackle worked out until it didn't. And I think they go Josh Simmons here, shore up that offensive line, get that right. Besides that, everything's looking good there between did they tag Trey Smith just now?
Yeah, they tagged him, so yeah.
So they tagged him. Still have Creed Humphrey, Jawan Taylor, and a lot of people don't like him. I see a lot of Chiefs fans aren't big fans of him. Got Tooney there. Let's just keep, throwing darts at the O-line.
My bad.
What?
My fault.
What?
No, it's just I had to text something.
No, you good.
All right, bet. Let's go back. But yeah. I mean, again, yeah, they lost because of this. They did this before where, they lost due to the offensive line. So they getting ready to, go back to it, fire it up. It is what it is. Unfortunate loss for them, but they'll revamp the offensive linemen and probably be back.
32 Eagles last pick.
They do it again. I mean, they just wait, see what's available. With Walter Nolan and Shamar Stewart on the board, they do similar to what they did when they selected Nolan Smith. They just select the best pass rusher available. I think they probably would go Shamar Stewart just because, maybe for whatever reason they miss out on getting the pass rusher. I can't think of his name right now. What's his name? The pass rusher from the Browns, Myles Garrett. They missed out on Myles Garrett, but they're able to get a guy with his similar measurables to him, and they feel like they can build him up and turn him into a good player. So I think that they draft Shamar Stewart. The production is not necessarily there, but the traits are. So I think they just think that they can get someone that can run like how he can and as strong as he is, turn him into a football player. They did it before with Josh Sweat, so I don't see why they don't think they could do it again with Shamar Stewart.
And knowing them and how they've been so far, he turns into a All-Pro by year 2. That's just life in the NFC East.
Or he might not even be All-Pro, but he's right under that. He's getting 7 to 9 sacks a year, and it's just always sacking your quarterback on third down when you need your quarterback to make a play.
Full results, but yeah, that's the mock. Any standouts? Standouts to me, Will Johnson, who you think could fall even farther. He takes a little fall. Matthew Golden goes later than. We both expect them to here. Tet goes at 12 to y'all. Pretty interesting. Will Campbell gets down to the Dolphins. Surprised you didn't go Loveland there at 14 for the Colts. He gets down to who'd you get him at? Broncos. So they're happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Colts still go tight end, but they don't even know what they're doing at quarterback. So bro, let's just work on the defensive side of the ball, and let's see what we can get figured out over here on offense.
I mean, it's definitely a great pick. It's definitely a great pick for him. So
like I said, bro, I don't want tight ends going to organizations that are like shit shows right now because. Colts and Loveland, by the time it's tight ends and running backs, I feel the same way about them, I think. Like, if your team's ready for them, draft one. You know what I mean? Like, if the rest of your team is complete, go ahead and draft one. But if y'all still need a whole bunch of pieces or, like, we don't know who's about to start at quarterback day one, why are we selecting the tight end?
Unless the talent is just that crazy and – you could go Genty at 6 with the Raiders.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, but even they got like to where we might not feel like the Raiders are complete. They feel like they got some shit over it. You know what I mean? Like
they do got some shit over there. Hopefully Christian Wilkins can make a full return because
and they got $90 million. So it's like
we don't know what the roster is really going to completely look like yet. But yeah, and then Pete Carroll, I just trust who they have above the shoulders there running the operation right now. So
right, nobody's too goofy. I mean, they got Chip Kelly, which is another reason why it's like, yeah, Chip Kelly thinks he can play quarterback with anybody. You know what I mean? Like they got guys that got huge egos, and which is why I could see again, and that's only if which I don't got Shador getting past 3, but that's only if Shador is not there. Then obviously if the quarterback's there, they're selecting the quarterback. But I don't got the quarterback being there, and I got at 6, I got the best player on the board being Genty. And I mean, when I saw that it was 1,970 yards after contact, I was like, bro, how? That I don't know. That was just mind blowing to me. That's a whole season worth of football after he's been hit.
Yeah, and I mean with Genty, I feel like it's more like draft process fatigue, but you just can't do that with him. And also, some people might feel like he's not like that in the last game in the playoffs. He didn't do it, but if you watch the game and he was still bouncing off tackles, he still you know what I mean? He was still showing like, bro, I'm him. I'm really that guy.
It was like, wait, that was supposed to be a loss of 3 yards. How the hell did he just get 9? Like he does things where it's like, yo, all right, that you can work with that. You can work with that when you playing the Chiefs and you down and you're up 3 with 1 minute left, and all you gotta do is just hope that the quarterback or the center and the quarterback don't botch the snap.
Yeah, and this isn't a situation like when we drafted Saquon at 2. Like you said, their O-line is actually pretty solid. So, you have that. You have Bowers. You have Jacoby Myers over there. And you do have a need because, White and Madison aren't cutting it for sure. So
and it for me, it's kind of like what we talked about, bro. It's like, yo, they already did the cool thing and passed over the good running back that we knew was good for the boomer bust edge guy, and it set them back. Anytime you missing on a top pick, no matter who the top pick is, you missing on that pick, it sets you back, and that set them back. Like, yeah, they probably found somebody to do what he's doing. I know Hassan Kaysan or whatever had a really good year with them. But Kelvon Kaysan had a really good year with them. But still, it's like, yo, that's Bijan, and then they do everything else that they've been doing. Like, you know what I mean? They're that much closer to being a serious franchise.
Yeah, and honestly, if they did get Bijan, they're probably still in the spot to get Brock Bowers. And now you have both.
Right. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's just something to consider, man. I understand what the sexy thing is, but sometimes, apparently people feel as if outside of Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, there's no blue chips. All right, well then I know for a fact Ashton Genty's a blue chip.
I think when we get to this part of the draft process, it's a lot of parroting. So because it's like, the narrative, that's what keeps pushing. But I think this draft is a lot deeper than it's getting credit for.
It's deep at like for a team that for a team like the Cowboys. This is a perfect draft for us because we already got the quote unquote stars. We have the quarterback, we have the wide receiver, the pass rusher, but we need D linemen that can stop the run. We need like a linebacker that can just stop. Like, we just need bodies to be role players. Like, we're not looking for a star player. We're looking for someone to help out our star players. We're like, so that's the kind of draft this is. And again, that's how you win Super Bowls.
For sure. But yeah, that's it for that. I'm excited to, flip and do even see how the draft goes on the other end when we get some more news. Free agency starting here soon. Get this shit out to y'all Tuesday. And we'll probably split it up a little bit because, we kind of did a lot of yapping. Glad to have Austin back here doing all his research, doing what needs to be done. But, yeah, like and subscribe. You got anything else?
Nah, it's like and subscribe. If y'all got any questions for us, leave us some comments. We'll see what we can do, see what we can incorporate into this thing. And, yeah, We're gonna make the off season as fun as we can.
All right, man. Let's get it, man. We here. Free agency coming up. Combine done. Let's get into it. Draft on the 22nd, 24th, whenever. Seated.
All right.